Seeing some damage, Commander, but no activity.
Cerberus does not get the jump on us this time. Stay sharp, people.
Pretty big mess, Shepard. Lots of combat.
Yeah, but who was fighting? Everyone hear that?
Yes, radio's offline. Something's jamming our signals.
Explains no comms leaving the facility.
Shepard, look!
You see the harvester? I saw it. Phantoms. Take them out before they get close. Watch for the sniper. Looks like they were evacuating.
And it looks like the Reapers were pursuing them.
About time they started killing each other.
Welcome to Sanctuary. For your safety, communication devices are strictly forbidden. What happened here?
I don't know. Come on.
Keep those having trouble with registration. More Cerberus came from that tower.
Then that's where we're headed.
To our sorting staff for inspection. They will be returned inside the compound. Be advised, communication devices will not function within Sanctuary. As you wish. Off-world technology is not permitted within Sanctuary.
The number of refugees has doubled in the last 2 weeks.
Registration.
I heard that people are just abandoning shuttles outside the main gate. They just don't have anywhere to go.
I figure in another week I can finish off the remaining hours.
All security procedures are in place to protect you and your loved ones.
Feel a little guilty that I'm getting an upgrade. This must be another landing area, more official.
Those ships we saw outside must have been waiting to get in.
But where are all the people they brought? Got a fragment of something here.
I can't call right now, but I'll send
Got another one.
We land in
My
a few
little girl
minutes.
got sick. That's why I left.
Place, Dad.
I love you, but I have to take care of her.
Communication devices will not function. Something ahead, Shepard.
Casualties.
For your security, no devices are allowed. More Cerberus!
Miranda.
This is Miranda Lawson. If you've managed to get this far, you must be desperate or stupid.
Miranda's crazy father. Any ideas how this all fits?
Move up to this water pump here on the left of the ladder to drain the water out of the lower section and gain access to the
Security
lower
guy.
labs.
Shutting it down.
What's happening?
They needed to hide something. We have a back door into the facility. Let's move.
No, after you.
That looks like Reaper technology. I'm sure of it. I don't know how, but Cerberus has found a way to use it.
Nice read, Velma. Seriously, foreshadow much?
Let's pick up the pace.
Anyhow, through the door, down the hallway, building tension.
This is going to get ugly.
What could possibly happen?
Nothing good ever came out of Reaper tech.
Once again, trigger the console to get another message from Miranda
Look around for a switch.
and find the mother of all anthills, apparently.
I don't get it. Why go through all this just to make
Through the next section,
What is the elusive Maim game?
and another console on the opposite side of the room,
A threat.
in addition to some additional ammunition in case you need it. If you don't now, you might by the time this room is empty.
Shutting down the power.
She won't know he's here.
Hit the console to get another message and then unlock the door.
Me to deal with her.
Only if she gets in your way. Stay focused on the research data. Find it and get out.
Yes, sir.
Damn it. Let's move.
Just as you reach the bottom of the stairs, a large number of husks will swarm you. A singularity on the stairs is usually enough to keep the husks under control, either on the stairs or in the doorway. That will keep you safe while you can dispatch them any way you see fit.
Got it.
Make sure to keep dropping the singularity when it runs out so that you don't leave yourself open.
Gotta be more where they came from.
Once the autosave triggers, pick up more ammunition before going down. You might want to go back and pick up the additional ammunition from the previous room before heading onward, just because ammo tends to be in short supply over the next few missions. It's a good practice to get into to pick up ammo from as far back as possible before advancing. That way you don't have to backtrack very far each time, but you always have full ammunition when you need it.
We got Reaper troops. Must be left over from the attack.
The characteristic Banshee scream is never a good sign, but even worse when coupled with a couple of marauders on the upper levels shooting down at you, in addition to a Ravager that will eventually make its way towards you. If at all possible, take care of the Banshee quickly. Obviously, it's never a good thing to have zipping around, but particularly when you have a Ravager and some Marauders shooting at you as well from a distance. If you get really backed into a corner, the doorway to the right will loop around to the back part of the area where the Marauders are. Generally speaking, though, it'll just open it up to let you get flanked more easily. So don't do it unless you have to, but the option is there. Also, try to keep your squad mates out of the hallway. I don't know why Liara is so gung-ho on getting her head sniped off, but better off to have them set near the top of this area. The way it's structured, there's like some upper tiers that they can be parked in relative safety, shooting down at the Banshee. At this point, I'm not feeling charitable, though, and just say, hey, let them die. They're distracting the Banshee. That's good enough for me. Her and her potbelly. That's right, I said it. You see, obviously, the Ravager's heading towards us. We've got swarmers wandering around. Good singularity application would to go amiss if you're trying to deal with swarmers, but it's also better to attack that Ravager and get rid of it before it approaches the doorway to this area, traps you in. The further away you can kill it, the better. But worst case scenario, you can back up and use the geometry of the room to your advantage. Not to mention using your squad mates as scapegoats. Let them take the hit while you attack the Ravager. That always works. That's why they pay the big bucks, after all. Sometimes hard to get the Marauders with abilities like Overload because of the structure of the railings there and the ladder. So don't be surprised if you have to rely on just overwhelming their shields with gunfire. If you run out of ammo entirely, there's one ammo box here, and then there's another outside in the long hallway on the opposite side. You'll open yourself up to some fire, but if you can't fire back, you're pretty much boned anyway, so just move over behind this little box or crate. See, the overload doesn't seem to work very well going through that railing, so just straight up gunfire if you're having trouble. Of course, singularity never seems to have any problem, but, you know, big swirling black hole better be effective. Anyway, once you've killed all the enemies and the autosave triggers, search the area for additional ammunition before going on. Once you're full up, cross the hall and through this section. Don't mind the Banshee staring at you behind the glass. She can't do much to you, except look ugly.
Dr. Newry's legacy work with subject Paul Grayson provided a key element to our work here. Using the addictive drug red sand to break down the will was inspired, but proved unreliable for general application. We've proven that adrenaline and its cross-species equivalence is most effective and efficient.
It's hard to imagine what this place was like in full operation.
Figure out how Reaper indoctrination.
Through the door, there's another terminal for you to activate and another message from Miranda. Also in the area are a couple of logs and ammunition if you haven't gotten all the way back to full.
Terminal's damaged. Hang on.
Reapers wanted this place shut down. Maybe we'll find out why.
After you're finished watching the terminal message, move up the stairs and through one of the two doorways on the left. thing to bear in mind in this fight is the barrier engines on the walls. There's several of them through this sort of split level hallway. Try to eliminate them as they go. Further back it becomes a little bit more challenging, particularly with Liara's head in the way. But since all you'll be dealing with up front will be cannibals, it's not too big a concern. If you find yourself taking too much fire, you can always backtrack down the stairs towards the original area. In addition to the first barrier engine that was up and to the right, there will be also a couple down and to the left in the lower area, which you'll want to take care of before advancing too far into the area. The first one's pretty obvious. The second one is much further down. Sniper rifle shot should take care of that. You probably won't be able to see it from here, but there is actually one final one all the way down on the right hand side. There aren't that many enemies left, so it's not a huge concern, but be aware that it is there all the way back at the end of the area. Interesting point. When you have cannibals, for example, that have no armor layer, if they get hit by a barrier engine and have a barrier protection applied to them, it doesn't help them any against singularities. So in reality, you can use singularity against them even if they do have a barrier layer. Unfortunately, that doesn't work very well against things like banshees that have an armor layer beneath the barrier, but the strange combination of the cannibals, if they get a barrier layer, you can still use singularity on them. There we go with the last barrier engine. One last enemy to go. In this encounter anyway. Also interesting, if you happen to notice there a few seconds ago, if you're looking at a enemy that has a barrier and health layer, you'll notice that if the barrier gets restored back to full, that you can tell the difference between how much health it has versus how much barrier it has. You can actually see a difference in the color for the red beneath it. In any case, after you've triggered the terminal, go up the ladder that drops down for you and up this section here. This is a kind of a rough area to be in, particularly on insanity difficulty. I find myself having a fair amount of difficulty with this. One of the keys is, first of all, to take care of the barrier engines that are along this sort of archways. There's two of them, one fairly far back that you can pick up, but it's tough to do without also drawing fire yourself, so try to hit them as quickly as possible at the beginning of this encounter. The next thing you'll probably have to deal with is a couple of the marauders that do tend to charge your position, in addition to the ravagers that just walk steadily down the area. You'll have seen that at the beginning of the encounter I set the squad to spread out to kind of draw fire away from me. You'll notice that one of the ravagers is actually up on the upper level attacking Garrus, while the other one came straight down the hallway at us. anything you can do to split their focus and prevent them from all attacking you, so much the better. While they're distracted by your squad, you can easily ambush some of the enemies from behind. Bear in mind, though, that this is a rough encounter any way you look at it. Cannibals aren't such a big deal because they could be pinned down with singularity, but the two Ravagers and the Marauders are highly dangerous. Particularly when this Ravager takes it into his mind to move around the archway to try to get a better shot at you. If you haven't killed the first one immediately, two Ravagers in close quarters, your only recourse is either to backtrack the way you originally came in or move down the ramp across the hallway into the lower section. There's very little cover down there, but oftentimes you can move far enough away that the enemies will go after your squad instead of you. It's not perfect by any means, but it's really up to you to adapt to how the situation actually plays out. On the face of it, it's not a hugely challenging encounter, but just the construction of the area and the relative lack of cover can make for some troubling times. But that's what quick saves are for. Once the two Ravagers and the Marauders are taken care of, all that's left are the Cannibals. They're fairly easy to take care of, even though they do have the additional armor plates. It still doesn't make them immune to the singularity, so the standard crowd control techniques you've been using all along. These last two seem to spawn as a partial wave once you've taken care of everything else, including the initial batch of cannibals, but they're easy to take care of. Sweep the area for ammunition and medkits, as well as triggering any of the logs if you'd like, for plot's sake. After which, head down this hallway to
We can use this as an exit.
this overhead container,
This will get us closer to the tower.
funneling what I'm sure is processed human slurry. Tasty meat sauce. Shoot off the panel and trigger the console there to trigger the movement of this container to the other end of the area. You'll see that the grating extends, allowing you to leap across to the doorway. There's some static ammunition that spawns here, so that you can pick it up if you haven't managed to get back up to full before this next encounter. Almost right away, you're going to be set upon by two brutes, which charge from different directions. The key in this encounter is to take care of the two brutes that charge you initially as quickly as possible. Focus your fire on one, using your special ammunition abilities and your squad's full range of abilities to take it down as quickly as possible. Snipe along its spine. If you do get into trouble, if it charges you, you can roll out to the side, but again, you really want to focus your fire on one at a time and not engage the second one until the first one is dead. Luckily, the squad seemed to have been on the ball when I did this, so the first one was dead even before I realized it, allowing me to shift my attention over the second. You can also sort of lure the brute around this section of the ramp where you can shoot over the railing, but it can't jump over the railing. Still might be able to swipe you through it, so be careful of that, but easily gives you enough play that you can back up, keep shooting it along the spine until it dies. Once the second one dies, that seems to trigger the other brute and the banshee to engage you. Just like before, you can engage the first brute that attacks you and take care of it almost before the banshee even is able to engage. keep shooting along the spine. If you're using your adrenaline rush, you can maximize the damage you're doing to it, taking care of it in the smallest amount of time possible, leaving you free to deal with the Banshee that's warping around, making your life hell. That got way too close to me for safety. Keep hitting it with your abilities. If it happens to take out one of your squad mates, it's not a big concern. You can always use the Unity ability to revive them, but if you do happen to interrupt their attack by doing damage to the Banshee enough that it drops the squad mate, so much the better. Doesn't always happen when you're being attacked. In fact, rarely ever does, but you can interrupt the animation while your squad mates are being attacked in any case. Save you a metagel. Without a doubt, Banshees are my least favorite enemy in this entire game. Particularly on the Priority Earth mission near the end of the game, it's just a Charlie Foxtrot of epic proportions. You'll notice here, right at the beginning of this area, there is actually a gun in one of the tubes. The way to get at that is to go all the way down to the end of the area. There will be a console that you can trigger before you hit the tower elevator right here on the left. Hit this and hit circle to hit the pod manual override, then go all the way back and activate the pod, and you'll be able to pick the M99 Saber. The M99 is a quite heavy rifle. It's one of the better rifles in the game, assuming you prefer that type. It's kind of like the Matic, where it does... it's almost like a hybrid of a sniper rifle and an assault rifle. It does extreme amount of damage, but it is also very heavy with very low firing rate and low capacity. Go up the elevator and through the next door, and you'll trigger a cinematic with potentially with Miranda and Oriana, depending on how you've handled the situations with them over the course of the game. But ultimately it will all end the same way, with you learning that Kai Lang has been tagged, and you'll be able to follow him back to the Cerberus base.
How much is that worth?
And that will bring us to the end of part 24 of the Mass Effect 3 Insanity walkthrough, Priority Horizon. Join us next time for part 25, Priority Cerberus Headquarters. Till then, I'm Lord Maim. Thanks for watching.